Pitch invasions and beer-fuelled chaos. From fan riots at the 1980 Scottish Cup final to the Heysel disaster years later, things were unsafe and the consequences were disastrous. Then in 1985, Margaret Thatcher's government stepped in. They introduced the Sporting Events Control of Alcohol Act, banning alcohol in view of the pitch across England and Wales. Since then, many fans and clubs have called for the law to be relaxed, especially since other sports don't face the same restrictions. If you're popping down to watch the Red Roses roar at Twickenham, feel free to grab a pint on the way to your seat. Wandering down to Lord's to catch some boundary bashing? Fill your boots with G&Ts. But if you were hoping to cheers your club's promotion to the Premier League with a Prosecco in hand from pitchside, sorry, it'll have to be tea or Bovril. In 2021, it looked like things might finally change. The government commissioned the Crouch Report, a fan-led review into football governance. One recommendation was to allow League Two and National League clubs to lift the alcohol ban to boost matchday revenue. But nothing came of it. Authorities still weren't convinced that fans could be trusted. And then in January 2025, something did change. The Women's Championship, now called the WSL2, launched a trial allowing fans to drink in the stands. The reasoning? Well, fans at women's matches tend to behave differently. Less aggression, more family-friendly vibes. Now, the women's game is raising the bar, literally. Select WSL and WSL2 stadiums are allowing fans to drink alcohol in view of the pitch. It's been a landmark move, showing growing trust in fans and recognising that women's football is building its own culture. So could the men's game be the next to leave the 1980s behind? Well, maybe, if fans can prove they can handle a pint without pitching it at someone. Yeah, don't hold your breath. Until then, it's Bovril all around. Cheers to that.
Good morning, Katie Shanahan here on talkSPORT with Early Sports Breakfast. Hope you're good and wrapped up warm in this bitterly cold winter weather. I'll be guiding you through until 6 a.m. when Alan Brazil and Gabby Bonhor take over with talkSPORT Breakfast. Really looking forward to seeing both of them this morning. Coming up on the show today, we'll be heading over to Sydney for day 4 of the 5th and final Ashes test. Our Bethel's still on 99. We'll be with John Norman very shortly. Looking back over Nottingham Forest's late 2-1 win over West Ham. We'll be looking at that tonight today in the show. We'll also be getting reaction to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, expected to return as Manchester United boss, as caretaker, and previewing a bonkers night of Premier League action. There are 8 games to listen to across the talkSPORT network, and I'd love to hear from you this morning. Get involved in the show. Let me know what you're up to and where you're listening to us as well. Yesterday, we had Thailand, New Mexico, and even Australia. So the number to call is 03717 223344, or you can text me 81089. Right, let's get into it. Okay, let's go over to the Ashes for the 5th and final test. It's day 4 out in Sydney, and let's go straight over to John Norman. Jacob Bethel, 99. He's so close, John.
He is. Spare a thought for his dad, who's watching at the SCG. And he's had a face like thunder for most of the day. But yeah, there he is, his son, 99 not out. And 1 away from what would be his first test century. He's never scored a first-class century, let alone an Ashes century. But here we are. England lead by 23, 206 for 3. And this is the final ball of Scott Boland's 16th over. And is he going to get the run? No, he's not. Clipped to short mid-wicket. Fielded by Marnus Labuschagne. So the wait goes on. But look, it's been England's day. They bowled Australia out within 45 minutes or so of the morning. And despite losing Zach Crawley in the first over, which is kind of customary for this Ashes, Mitchell Starc once again getting one to nip back to Crawley, whose shouldered arms given out for just one. And losing Duckett just after the lunch break. He went for 42. That was his best of the series. It's been a really poor return for him. And Root was he couldn't score. Scott Boland's first 9 overs went for just 12 runs. It was ridiculous, and he nipped out Joe Root. But in and amongst that, Bethell has played really nicely. Just cannot get away from it. The guy does look like he's got a touch of class about him, and it'll be one positive to come away from this series, even if he doesn't score another run. Harry Brooks also played well. He's 36, and England still have an outside hope here of at least making it nervous for Australia tomorrow. Lead by 23. There's still 2 hours of play to go today, so who knows? Who knows? They score. They bat all day today and bat till lunch, and then have a crack at Australia tomorrow. But at the moment, it's all about Jacob Bethell. Can he get that one run?
And I feel as though we've been watching him for such a long time. He must be so nervous in the middle there. He's like, one away from my first Test century. How exciting. Right, John, we'll be back with you as and when things progress. On to the football then, as last night's relegation six-pointer finished in devastating fashion for crisis-stricken West Ham. Here's how you heard it live on talkSPORT.
West Ham need to show some iron in their soul, while Forest must ensure they don't crack under the pressure.
If they were to go down this season, I think they might end up in League One.
That well the game, we score one goal, we create a lot of situations.
In towards the near post, it's flicked on and it's helped home. I think it might be an own goal that.
A lot of noise surrounding, a lot of build-up. And I thought overall we've edged it and handled that well.
Look at the state of the crowd, right? No one bothered.
I just took my headphones off actually, just to sort of see what the atmosphere was like. I couldn't really hear anything.
No, it's very dull.
Ask the fans that give us hands. We will need them. We need them.
Somerville! And he smashes it down the middle of the goal.
Just looking here to see if there's an offside.
And you were right, Martin. This goal is not going to stand. Can you imagine if Nottingham Forest were to equalise now? Anderson in towards the near post, flicked on towards the far, and it sneaks in. It's a brilliant, brilliant header. Nico Dominguez.
It's almost like a script we've all read before.
It's a penalty to Nottingham Forest in the 87th minute of the game. Morgan Gibbs White steps up, right-footed, and drills it through the middle of the goal.
To come back and win is very pleasing.
That's cue, isn't it, to leave the ground in massive numbers.
Defeat leaves the Hammers 7 points from safety.
Yeah, it's not looking good for West Ham. They did lead, though, through who they thought was Crescencio Somerville to make it 2-0 after a Murillo own goal. But then it was chalked off for a marginal offside. Somerville was hoping for his second goal for West Ham, first of the season. That then swung the momentum, and in a moment of madness from Alfonso Areola towards the end of the game, Morgan Gibbs White, he fouled him. It then led to a penalty. And then ultimately, Morgan Gibbs White scored it. And then Forest ended up, late drama, winning that 2-1. And at the end of the game, Thomas Souček, actually the West Ham midfielder, called the decision at the end of the game a joke and argued that we would have had 20 penalties in the game if every challenge like that was given. He actually added that he came to the Premier League because I thought it was the toughest league in the world, adding that we are all fighters, warriors, but this looks more like basketball. You can't touch the player. Well, after the game, Nuno Espirito Santo, the West Ham manager, reflected on a tough night against his former side.
I think we start well the game. We are in control. We score one goal. We create a lot of situations. We defend well. We didn't give too much away. We started well the second half, very well the second half. We went for the game. The boys determined to achieve a second goal. We achieved it. Bad luck that was ruled out by a small margin. And after that, many incidents happen that we can go and speak about them. How many times we see situations like this in the box and they are not given, so it's hard to explain and realize what's happened today that put us in a bad place.
Yeah, 7 points off Nottingham Forest, who are just above them in the a place above the relegation zone. Only 2 wins in 16 games now for Nuno Espirito Santo since replacing Graham Potter. So it's really not looking very good for West Ham at all. And even Nuno Espirito Santo, he got chants from the Forest supporters saying getting sacked in the morning. And if you're Nuno, you're thinking that must have been a really tough watch. Losing to a club he was so successful with, reaching 7th last season with them, their highest finish in 30 years, and then having to say last night it's a big gap between them and Forest, but it's not over. We need to keep believing. Well, West Ham's next couple of games, they face QPR on Sunday. That's in the FA Cup third round. Then they face Tottenham in a London derby. Then it's Sunderland, Chelsea, Burnley, and then Manchester United. So tough, well, kind of mixed couple of games, hasn't it? So they'll hopefully be, if they can get another win, just one win, like we've been saying so much with Wolves, then potentially they can go on a good run. Well, different kind of atmosphere at Nottingham Forest, because that victory curbs a run of 4 straight defeats. Their manager Sean Dyche was asked post-match whether the win makes up for their recent poor form.
It's not about making up for anything. It's a work in progress. I didn't come in here as a walk in the park. I haven't changed my tune just because we've won. I haven't changed my tune about anything I've said. So we won 3-0 at Anfield. I wasn't shouting from the rooftops about it. I said, look, it's a step in the right direction. I still think there's more to come from the whole squad. There's a lot of players here who are learning about the Premier League. You know, they don't know what it's like yet because they're learning, literally learning. And it's a different animal, the Premier League. I've known it, I've been in it a long time, and I'm trying to educate them as well as win games, as well as bring players through, as well as form a team that can play exciting football, and all the rest of it. They know all the pundits and everyone questions us on. We're all trying to do the right job, but the thing that I've never lost sight of, you've got to win games, and we've won a really important one tonight.
Yeah, it was a really important one for Nottingham Forest. And you also think with that team, should Forest be anywhere near relegation, bearing in mind how well they did last season under Nuno Espirito Santo? So a huge win for Forest and Sean Dyche. And can they potentially use this as a turning point and go on a good run now? Right, let's head over to John Norman, because finally, John, for day 4 of the 5th and final Ashes Test out in Sydney, Jacob Bethel has finally reached a century.
Yeah, and he's done it with style as well. He's just lofted Bo Webster up and over mid-wicket and away to the boundary, just shy of a 6 actually. It was 1 bounce 4. He's moved to 103, and he's announced himself really in Test cricket. He's of course played Test cricket. He came within 1 shot of reaching a century in New Zealand this time last year, actually. Fell just short on that occasion, and despite a stay in the 90s that was pushing 23 deliveries, in the end he did it with some flamboyance and confidence, and what seems as his mum and dad are in the crowd to witness it as well. And his dad certainly lived every single ball of that, wiping away the tears. Little shake of the head there. So he's put his dad through some stress, but he's given some joy to the England fans, and there's still some hope, you know, that England could even make things a little bit uncomfortable for Australia tomorrow. The pitch is still offering a bit to the bowler, but he's batted without giving a chance. It's been quite brilliant. And like Alistair Cook in 06-07, Ben Stokes in 2013-14, you know, who scores centuries in Australia despite the team losing, announcing themselves on the stage where they will go on to dominate. Maybe Jacob Bethel's going to do the same thing. So brilliant from him. England just need to keep going now. 213 for 3. They lead by 30.
Thank you, John. Yeah, we need some positives about this Ashes series, and Jacob Bethel is certainly one. It's actually really funny watching the parents' reaction. I mean, they must have just been sitting. I mean, we were waiting, weren't we, for at least 5 to 10 minutes for him to get that century. But a really proud moment for him and his family as well, as England march on. So we're asking you this morning because Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, wow, amazing that he looks to be returning to Manchester United once again. He's the leading candidate to return to the club in a caretaker role until the end of the season, and then they're going to be looking at getting a permanent manager in next season. I quite fancy Thomas Tuchel for that. Win England the World Cup and then go in at Manchester United. But we are asking you this morning, with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's likely return to Old Trafford, a true club legend, we are asking you this morning, which legendary former player have you always dreamed would one day manage your club or return to the hot seat? So who would you like to see in the dugout? As an Arsenal fan, maybe one day Thierry Henry back in the dugout. What would that look like? I mean, he's been amazing in certain parts of management, but still, I was supposed, still to be tested, and he's doing really well in his broadcasting career. So would he fancy going into the Arsenal dugout? Who knows? But he's a legend at the club, so it's always really interesting to see club legends. Can they kind of progress that into management? We've seen Frank Lampard go over to Chelsea, doing wonderful things at Coventry. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, actually, if you look back over it, he didn't have he had an all right spell back at Manchester United, and we've seen Mikel Arteta, of course, at Arsenal, doing wonderful things. So, which club legend would you like to see back at your club and return to the hot seat? 03717 2233 44. You can text me 81089. Right, Katie Shanahan here with you this Wednesday morning. Coming up, we're going to be getting into the back pages and hear how a extremely proud Darren Fletcher says it's an honour to lead Manchester United for their game against Burnley tonight, which is live and exclusive for you on talkSPORT. It's 5:16. Good morning. A very good morning. How are you doing this Wednesday? Katie Shanahan here until 6 o'clock when Alan Brazil and Gabby Bonhor take over with talkSPORT Breakfast. Both of their first shows in 2026. So I hope they've had a lovely festive break and a very happy new year to both of them. Remember, we are now on your DAB radio, your smart speakers, YouTube, of course, and your smart TV. So you can come and say hello to us wherever you're listening and watching to us around the world. Right, here are some of the headlines you're waking up to this Wednesday morning. Jacob Bethel has just hit his maiden Test century and is still at the crease. He's 106 in at the crease alongside Harry Brook, who's on 42 for now. England bowled Australia out for 567 overnight. They're currently 219 for 3 with the bat. Rangers have moved to within 3 points of Scottish Premiership leaders Hearts and above Celtic into second place, though Martin O'Neill's side do have a game in hand. And talkSPORT understands that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is in advanced talks to become the second interim boss until the summer. United head to Burnley tonight, which you can listen to live and exclusive on talkSPORT, with Darren Fletcher in interim charge following Ruben Amorim's sudden exit on Monday. The 5-time Premier League winner spoke yesterday of his pride to lead this side.
Yes, surreal. As you say, it's an amazing honour, I think, to be able to lead a Manchester United team. I don't even think it's in my wildest dreams that was something that could potentially happen. I think even thinking about playing for the club and stuff like that, but to lead out a team is an amazing honour and something I'm really proud to do, not in the circumstances I expected it to happen. So that obviously is something that doesn't sit quite easy with me, but I've just to think of I've got a job to do and I've got to lead the team tomorrow and think of the great honour and pride in doing that.
And you can read more on all of the day's stories. Just go to talksport.com. Now, plenty of you have been getting in touch this morning regarding our text topic, because Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is across all of the back pages, which we'll get to very shortly. So we're asking you this morning, which legend would you like to see back at your club? This is from Ben. Good morning, Ben. He said, I would love to see Steven Gerrard manage Liverpool one day. I think we'd all love to see that happen. Cantona Keane back at Manchester United, someone said here. Good morning to Craig, very loyal listener to this show. Morning, lovely Katie. Looking forward to another great show. Would love to see Dennis Bergkamp back at Arsenal as manager, as he is my all-time favourite player. Arsenal, that'd be good. I'm saying Thierry Henry. Dennis Bergkamp, I met him actually quite recently. It was one of those after-dinner evenings, and what a lovely gentleman and what a brilliant player he was as well. So keep those coming in. Also this quickly from Paul from Kent. Good morning, Paul. I would love to see John Terry back at Chelsea as the manager one day. Wears his heart on his sleeve. Legend, leader. And JT, for me, true blue. That's from Paul in Kent. Right, before we do the back pages with the lovely Will Hobbs, we're going to go over to the cricket. John Norman. There's been a wicket, but Jacob Bethel is still in at the crease. So who's gone?
It's Harry Brook who's gone. He's going to end his Ashes tour without a century. And again, he's made a start and not managed to kick on. The wicket's come from an unlikely source, so it's Bo Webster who's struck. He's bowling, he's essentially bowling off spin. He can bowl pace, he can bowl seam, and he can bowl spin. And I don't think he thought this was out. Harry Brook is essentially crouching and trying to play this ball fine through third and missed the ball. It's hit him quite high on the thigh, but because he's crouching, it makes it look like it's going to sail over the top of the stumps. The umpire was unmoved. It took until the last second for Steve Smith to essentially go upstairs for the review. He was really pushed by Alex Carey behind the stumps to go for it. Webster was saying it was going over, and when it went upstairs, 3 reds and you're out. So Brook's gone for 42. England's lead is 36. Bethel's still there, 106, and we're just going to wait and see who comes into bat, because whilst you were all sleeping, unless you were up on the night shift like me, midway point of one of his early overs, Ben Stokes actually hobbled off, clutching his groin. So it's unlikely that he will bowl tomorrow, but we'll wait for official confirmation on that. It's just a question on whether he will bat. So you'll be able to see the screens when it comes up, Katie, but I'll leave you with this. Brooks out, 219 for England.
Thank you so much, John. We'll be back with John very shortly, but good to see Jake Bethel still in at the crease and going strong, but Harry broke the latest wicket to fall. Well, right, a very good morning to Will Hobbs, who's back with me in the studio to run through the back pages and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. It's all over them, Will.
Yeah, Ollie at the wheel, Ollie on the back pages. Ollie at the wheel, how good does it feel? I think he was the sort of pioneer of that phrase, at the wheel. I think that's when I first remember. And now it's like, Arteta at the wheel, how good does it feel? Jose back at the wheel. And it's because when Jose Mourinho got sacked back in 2019, Ollie came in and just, he played the Man United way, according to the fans. He sort of infused them with new excitement. I remember Paul Pogba was a bit of a changed man when Ollie came in. And then he was never meant to be the full-time manager, and he got 3 years in the end. And so it was 6th in his caretaker season. Then he finished 3rd. Then he finished 2nd. And then he got sacked the following season in 21-22, having won just 1 game in 7. Since then, it's been 6th, 3rd, 8th and 15th for Man United. So you can understand why fans and players like Bruno Fernandes are excited to have Ollie back. And the Sun has done a nice spread of all the different candidates for this caretaker role and how many trophies they've all won as players. And you just get the reminder. Ryan Giggs, 13 Premier League titles. Ollie, 6. Darren Fletcher, the current man in charge, 5 Premier League titles, a Champions League, an FA Cup, a League Cup, a Europa League. Ruud van Nistelrooy, 1 Premier League. Michael Carrick, 5. It's just, you forget just how much these guys have won. But I like the piece of audio that we played at 5 that Darren Fletcher said about Sir Alex. He said, I always run everything past Alex Ferguson still. And you're like, well, how far does that extend? You know, like, does he make all the decisions in your life? Like, is it bath or shower? Do I ring up Sir Alex? Where do I send my kids to school? But I just thought it was quite funny. But it's amazing how much power Sir Alex still has. And I wonder if Ollie comes back, how much of that influence will return. Who knows? Yeah,
and then they've also been speaking to a number of candidates. I suppose, they've got to think about this permanent manager role as well.
Yeah, big time. Well, if Ollie wins games, I mean, is it a case of that happens again, right?
He did that last time, didn't he? He went on a 10 wins in a row or something.
Yeah.
Or 10 unbeaten, and then he ended up finally getting the job.
Exactly. And he did change the feel around the club, because people always talk about this Manchester United way of playing. And Jose Mourinho was competing for titles, but he didn't play he didn't fit the style of the clubs. There's always been that element to it as well. That the meaning of that has been lost over the years now, because Man United no longer have a way of playing that's successful. But it's interesting.
Yes. Okay, let's go back to Sydney, because there's been a wicket at the cricket. John, we were getting so optimistic, but the wickets keep falling in quick succession now.
I tell you what, I mean, I've watched a lot of cricket and I cannot believe what I've just seen here. For any of the listeners out there who thought that Will Jack's worst moment in this match, maybe the series, was his drop catch on the boundary at deep square leg that reprieved Travis Head when he was on 121. Well, think again, because when you were last with me, I mentioned that I wasn't sure whether Ben Stokes would be batting after picking up that injury, and indeed he didn't walk out onto the turf. It wasn't Jamie Smith either, who has been batting ahead of Will Jacks throughout this series. Instead, Jacks was sent in there. Second ball after Bethel and Brooke had batted together so well for a 100-run partnership to put England in a position where maybe, just maybe, they'd be able to go on and put some pressure on Australia tomorrow if they could put, I don't know, 200 on the board. He stepped out there, and second ball to Bo Webster, who is better than a part-time spinner. And he has just tried to smash him over mid-wicket, and instead of smashing him over with mid-wicket, he's been caught at mid-wicket. I can't believe what I've just seen. Either way, Webster's picked up 2 wickets in 3 balls, and England, who were at the start of the over 219 for 3 with a lead of 36, and now 219 for 5 with a lead of 36, and still no Ben Stokes. It is Jamie Smith batting now.
Thanks so much, John Norman. We'll be back with you as and when things happen. Just very quickly, Will. So just, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer all over the back pages. The leading candidate for this caretaker role also spoke to Ruud van Nistelrooy and Michael Carrick as well as ahead of their game against Burnley tonight. That's all we got time for. Thank you so much. No problem. You can listen to the game across the talkSPORT network tonight. One of 8 games in the Premier League. Right, Katie Shanahan here with you this Wednesday morning. talkSPORT Breakfast is coming up at 6 o'clock with Alan Brazil and Gabia Bonlahor. Front pages and an update on Man City's transfer business coming next. It's 5:29. Good morning.
Here are some of the best sledges in Ashes history. Let's start in 1933, Douglas Jardine versus Yabba. Jardine, the notorious captain of the Bodyline series. Yabba, some bloke in the stands who became so famous he now has a statue at the SCG. When Jardine was swatting away flies on the boundary one day, Yabba yelled, "Oi, Jardine, leave our flies alone. They're the only friends you've got." Next, Warne versus Strauss in the Edgbaston Cauldron 2005. Strauss shouted, "Come on boys, he's struggling here," when Warne misjudged the delivery by Ashley Giles. Warne then told Strauss, "Say one more thing to me and I'll hit the next ball for six." Strauss obliged and Warne walloped an enormous six over square leg. Night-night, Straussy. Bowler Jimmy Ormond dealt a stinger to Mark Waugh, brother of Steve, in 2001 when the Aussie all-rounder told him he was nowhere near good enough to play for his country. Ormond replied, "At least I'm the best cricketer in my family." Tough. Wicketkeeper Ian Healy issued one of the great lines after Steve Waugh told Ricky Ponting to field right under the nose of Nasser Hussain. Healy remarked, "That could be anywhere within a 3-mile radius." Poor Nas. And then there's Dennis Lilly on Geoffrey Boycott, who he beautifully described as a man who fell in love with himself at a young age and has remained faithful ever since.
A very good morning. Katie Shanahan here with Early Sports Breakfast. We are building up to talkSPORT Breakfast as it's the return of Alan Brazil and Gabby Abondlehort, who take over from me at 6 a.m. Really looking forward to seeing both of them this morning for their first shows of 2026. Right, here are some of the headlines you're waking up to this Wednesday morning. A defiant Nuno Espirito Santo says he still believes West Ham's 14-year stay in the Premier League can be saved. That's despite last night's late home defeat to relegation rivals Forest, which opened up a gap of 7 points plus goal difference to the Hammers. Amad Diallo started again as defending champions Ivory Coast cruised past Burkina Faso and into the quarterfinals of the Africa Cup of Nations. The quarterfinals take place on Friday and finish on Saturday. Mali and Senegal, Cameroon against Morocco, Algeria against Nigeria, and it's Egypt against the Ivory Coast. Those are the ties in the quarterfinals. And ahead of Chelsea's short trip across West London to Fulham this evening, which is live and exclusive for you on talkSPORT, caretaker boss Callum McFarlane has been asked whether there is heightened pressure on the incoming head coach Liam Rosenior.
Obviously been appointed the Chelsea manager because they believe he can handle the challenges of the Premier League. So I don't think it helps him. I think any game at Chelsea you need to win. There's always big pressure on that, and he'll understand that, as we all do. So I don't think it makes any difference. He's going to come in and put his stamp on the team, and we will all be behind him.
Well, just hours before McFarlane's press conference at Chelsea, Liam Rosenior actually sat down with members of the French media for the final time at Strasbourg before flying back to London, which I have huge amount of respect for, because how many times do we see managers give kind of a sending off press conference before they sign for a new club? You never see that, so huge testament to him before he signed his 6.5-year deal at Chelsea. Liam Rosenior explained his departure and tensions from Strasbourg fans around its feeder club relationship with Chelsea.
The reality in football is there are levels. There are levels of clubs. I know that the ambition of this club is to reach the very highest level. The reality of that at the moment is that Strasbourg is not on the level of Chelsea. It's not as big a club. It will grow and it will achieve things in the future. But there are certain clubs that you just cannot turn down. So I hope the fans can see that, and I hope they're proud in a way that somebody who's worked here has been identified to be the manager of a Champions League winning current club world champions. I hope that people can see it in that way and can understand how difficult it was for me to make the decision to leave the club.
Okay, yes, I think he comes across really well, a really good communicator, and also, you know, this managerial merry-go-round. I mean, it's great to see Martin O'Neill also back at Celtic as well, as he tries and steers them to the title. Right, the latest episode of the talkSPORT Daily is available now, as Jeff Selling is joined by Andy Townsend as the boys delve into why managers don't get the same respect than the likes of Sir Alex Ferguson and Brian Clough used to get. Plus, they discuss whether there are actually any good managers left in modern day football. If you want to hear more, then the talkSPORT Daily is available on all podcast platforms now for you. And of course, for more of the day's biggest stories, you can head over to talksport.com. Right, loads of you texting in this morning. Thanks so much for getting involved in the show. It's today's text topic is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's likely return to Old Trafford, because he is the leading candidate to return to Manchester United as caretaker boss until the end of the season, before then they hire someone on a permanent basis. United have held talks with Michael Carrick and Ruud van Nistelrooy. This is on the back page of the Mirror. Two former players. Darren Fletcher will be in charge of the game tonight. So we're asking you this morning, which legend would you love see return to your club. We've got this from Russ. Russ actually says, Man United need to forget Fergie. Well, just on that, Darren Fletcher actually said he asked Sir Alex Ferguson for his blessing before leading Manchester United at Burnley tonight. Sam here has said, good morning, Katie. As a Charlton fan, we've got Nathan Jones already, who started his coaching with us and came back, but I'd go with Chris Powell. Yes, or Paulo Di Canio. Yes, you've got those options, Sam. Thanks so much for texting in. And this other text here from Kate. Good morning, lovely Katie. From lovely Kate, Manchester United fan in a rainy Bolton. On the subject of having heroes back, I wish Sir Alex was in charge. I mean, yes, that'd be fabulous. But I think his time, he's had, I think, yeah, he's still, well, he kind of seems to still be in charge in some ways. He's still got the likes of Darren Fletcher calling him up and asking for his blessing. But Kate goes on to say here, with my favourite ever, Mark Hughes. So keep those texts coming in, 81089, or you can give me a call, 0371 2233 44. Okay, West Brom have also had a legend heading back in. James Morrison will be stepping in as interim. This is after Ryan Mason was sacked yesterday. Okay, on to a bit of transfer news for you, because the January transfer window is fast approaching. Antoine Semenyo is set to have a medical at Man City, with his £65 million move expected to be completed. That's before Saturday. So he'll have his medical after Bournemouth's game against Tottenham tonight. So Antoine Semenyo, how do you think he'll get on at City? Do you think he'll quickly transition into one of the positions? How do you think he'll get on under Pep Guardiola? Meanwhile, on the back page of the Times, we've got Mark Gay to leave if City meet the fee, because they had Guardiola has a broken leg actually in their game against Chelsea, and it means that with Ruben Diaz also out injured, they need a replacement in defence. But what would Liverpool have a say about this? And if you're Mark Gay, do you wait for a European giant like a Barcelona, a Real Madrid, or do you go and sign for City this window? Well, Oliver Glasner concedes that his captain could leave Palace this month, but only for the right price. That was a look at the latest transfer news with Intuit QuickBooks. Okay, so it is time for this.
Transfer window. Breaking news on talkSPORT with Intuit QuickBooks. Tackle your self-assessment with Intuit QuickBooks. Search QuickBooks to find out more.
It's a front page throwdown.
Oh, what a move.
The front page is first on the early sports breakfast. talkSPORT.
And it's a very good morning to Emma Cohen, who's back in the studio, looking very glamorous today, I must say, Emma. Like your makeup, you look lovely.
On in 2 seconds.
Yeah. You know what, sometimes I find when I actually don't really know what I'm plastering on my face, I look the best.
Just go with it.
And everyone's like, you look great today. And you're like, oh, that's depressing. Because when you actually try, people don't say that at all.
What is that about?
What is that about? Okay, front pages, what have we got?
So apparently, because it's January, there's been obviously so much celebrating and drinking and lovely time with family. Birthday plans have been abandoned by 1 in 3 adults born this month.
Oh, well, that's sad.
I know.
Do you celebrate your birthday, you big birthday gal?
Well, I'm a Leo, so born in August. I do like the
everyone's always away.
Yeah, but I think it's like, because when you're at school, no one was around for it. Now I make up by having like month-long celebrations. I think it's quite annoying for my husband. He's like gearing up for it. He's like, no, just stop, just take it down a notch. It's not all about you. You've got one day.
It's not a month.
Yeah. But they're saying that they're convinced that their mates won't turn up to the parties, and a poll of 2,000 adults has been done. So 18% of people in January are just having a terrible month.
The thing is, I think I totally get that everyone wants to do dry January, but there are other ways of putting on a party and having fun. For example, that doesn't include alcohol.
Okay.
I remember last year we went on a number of like sober days out with the friends, and we were like, oh, actually, this is great fun. This is great fun. Yeah, no, we did various amounts of things. So that doesn't revolve around alcohol. So I think there are ways to celebrate. I think we did like an escape room. We did loads of different challenges. I think we went on a massive bike ride, and then we did go into the pub, but we had a soft drink or whatever. And there's loads of 0% now anyway. So
exactly.
I think you can still celebrate your birthday, but maybe... Oh, I think we did pottery painting. You know, all these things that you wouldn't normally do.
Yes.
And I was terrible. Mine was the worst of the lot. But there are definitely ways to celebrate, I think, your birthday without revolving alcohol, if you have a birthday in January.
Exactly. The poor January babies. Mickey Rourke has been slammed. Has slammed a humiliating... This is what he's saying. A humiliating... embarrassing GoFundMe campaign, which was set up by his fans to help him pay for his rent.
Oh.
I think that if someone set up a GoFundMe campaign to sort out my rent for a bit, I don't think I'd say no. Especially
you don't think you'd say no?
I'd be like, I'd be a bit, but if I was struggling, I'd be like, yeah.
Go on
then. If it's been Christmas and the payday feels very far away, I'd be like, all right, fine.
Yeah, but I suppose everyone has to pay for their rent, so not everyone can set up a GoFundMe page monthly.
The wrestling actor's said to her £44,000, but he's saying, I'm really frustrated and I'm really confused as to why my fans have set this GoFundMe up.
But he hasn't closed it down.
He's still active.
Really against this, but keep paying the money. Please send the money to my bank account. That'd be great. But this is horrendous. Okay, have we got anything else? The front page is quite light this morning, aren't they? Yeah. We're going for GoFundMe pages. I'm like, Jesus. Okay, what else we got?
Watching The Traitors?
Oh, you know what I am, but let's know. Yes, I am. But I've got a lot of other TV that I'm currently catching up on. So I've only done episode 1, so I'm a bit behind. I love The Secret Traitor.
Yeah.
I don't know who that is, by the way.
It's dividing people.
Oh, is it?
I find it quite annoying. I just I want to know.
Annoying?
Because I feel like I want to be in on it. I didn't mind it for the first episode, but now I just want to know. And apparently we are going to find out.
Oh, wow. Is that in tonight's episode? Because isn't it Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, the episodes?
Yes.
Turning into Love Island, isn't it? It's hard to keep up. There's so many episodes in one week, and then I'm so far behind, and then everyone tells me what it is before I've watched it.
After the celeb one being such a hit, now they've come quite back to back, haven't they?
Love Island's like here, there, and everywhere. SAS is like in South Africa, New Zealand. I mean, they're all the time.
Yeah.
There is an element of overkill there. But question for you before you go: do you prefer the celebrity traitors or the normal traitors?
At the moment, the celeb one. It was just so good.
It was so good, but I think you have preconceived conceptions of what these people are like, whereas with the normal people, you have no idea.
Yeah.
You're like, are you a snake, or are you a diva, or are you trustworthy? What's going on?
Some people are quite out there as well, aren't they? Like, openly admitting to just, like, loving deceiving people.
Yeah.
I just don't think I could. My friends and family would be like, what? All this inner nastiness, but it's very good telly.
Very good, great telly. Well, I look forward to watching that. Thanks so much for joining us for some very light front pages, but we made it through. Well done, you. Keep looking fabulous, and I'll see you very shortly. Thank you so much. Okay, little cricket update for you. Jacob Bethel still in at the crease at 110. Jamie Smith alongside him on 8. So England are 232 for 5 on day 4 of the 5th and final test in Sydney. Okay, up next, we're going to be continuing to preview today's 8 Premier League games and hear whether Thomas Frank thinks he's dodged a bullet with the Manchester United job. It is 5:48. A very good morning.
welcome to talkSPORT Goals. We're taking you through what should be another busy day of football. Chance to win it!
We don't need to do that, guys.
I'm going to owe you an apology.
How would you get to that conclusion?
That's a weak mentality.
Oh, get out of it.
26k for 2026 on talkSPORT.
A very good morning, Katie Shanahan here on talkSPORT with early sports breakfast. Alan Brazil and Gabia Bonhor are on the way. They're going to be here at 6 o'clock, so in 7 minutes' time. And it's just 2 days left to get your entry in for your chance to win £26,000. Yes, at 12 o'clock this Friday, we'll be calling the 26k for 2026 winner. And £26,000 will be paid into their bank account that day. I think that makes a big difference, by the way. Don't miss your chance. So here is how to enter for your chance to win. Text WIN to 83338. Text cost £2.50 plus your standard network rate, or call 0343 423 9761. Lines close at 12 o'clock on Friday. That's when you'll need to answer your phone if it rings. UK residents only, 18 plus. This is a network promotion. Full T's and C's at talksport.com/win. So for your chance to win, text WIN to 83338 now, and a very good luck. I love that they put that.
26k for 2026 on talkSPORT.
So dramatic. I love that. So there you go. Very good luck. You can text WIN to 83338 now. Right, the football never stops. You've got 8 games in the Premier League tonight. Our full programme of Premier League action continues, and the talkSPORT network has you covered.
There's limbs everywhere, and it's rifled in by Buendia. Oh my word! What a goal for Fulham! Pocket of space for Foden. He gets it onto his left foot, drives it to the far corner. It's a world-class finish for the super player. Getty with a colour! What a moment! Cunha down the right-hand side, into the area, slips it under the goalkeeper, and in.
Ruben Amorim sacked.
Across into the near post, and the header is sent in by Christian Romero. Mateus Mane has made it 3-0 to Wolverhampton Wanderers. The run comes to an end, 252 days without tasting victory. He's Cavalier and he'll score! In towards Gravenberch! High to the 6-yard box, and the header is in! Jurrien Timber! The greatest drama in the world. This is the Premier League.
Yeah, you lucky things. You've got 8 games tonight, live and exclusive on the talkSPORT network. Just download the free talkSPORT app and take your pick from the following 7:30 kickoffs. You've got Bournemouth against Tottenham. That's on the app exclusively. Brentford against Sunderland. I'm actually really looking forward to this one. They're level on points in the Premier League table and both unbeaten in the last 5. So it'll be interesting to see who comes out on top in that one. That's also on the talkSPORT app. Crystal Palace against Aston Villa is a Talk Radio exclusive for you. Also on the app, you've got Everton against Wolves. Wolves going on a little bit of a run at the moment. So can they get something at Everton? Fulham against Chelsea. That's on talkSPORT 2 exclusively. Liam Rossini will be watching from the stands ahead of taking charge in his first game for Chelsea against Charlton in the FA Cup third round this weekend. And Man City against Brighton, also on the app. a 7:30 kickoff. At 8:15, all eyes will be at Turf Moor because Burnley host Manchester United without Ruben Amorim. First game in charge. Darren Fletcher in interim charge, but obviously they're looking at Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, leading candidate to take care as caretaker boss until the end of the season, says Darren Fletcher in the dugout this evening. 8:15 kickoff for that one. Newcastle hosting Leeds is also on the app for you. So 6 of the 8 games in the Premier League tonight will be available for you on the app. So you just go to the app and you can find everything this evening. So loads of football coming up for you this evening. Can't wait. Right, here's what else is coming up for you on breakfast this morning. Alan Brazil and Gabia Bonlahor are here. They are getting ready for the breakfast show coming up in 3 minutes' time. They're back in the hot seat for their first shows of 2026. They'll be taking a deep dive in and around half an hour's time on the controversial relationship between Chelsea and Strasbourg with European football expert Duga Critchley. Former Manchester United defender Phil Bardsley has his say on ex-teammate Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's expected return as caretaker boss to Old Trafford. Alan Pardew and James Collins will have their say on the doom and gloom around West Ham after their late defeat against Nottingham Forest last night. And former Celtic and Villa captain Cillian Petrov also joins them on the show as well. You've been listening to Early Sports Breakfast with me, Katie Shanahan, this morning. Alan Brazil and Gabia Bonhor are on the way next with talkSPORT Breakfast. Have a great day.